Hello, hello! Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to HearthCenter. We are back for one final show this evening. I am Donde. I'm excited to be here as usual. You'll notice we have the same familiar faces, but nobody from Horizon, as unfortunately they were all too busy to join us tonight. So you're going to have to deal with just the standard crew here, which includes TwoStarMako. Mako, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Just tanking my legend rank from 2.5k to 5.2k.
It do be like that. It do be like that. Tuna, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing alright. How you doing?
You know, we here, feeling good. Having
Out here vibing, bro.
just vibing, getting ready for some turkey tomorrow. Just resting.
Nice. Eat some turkey for me, man.
Yeah, I will. I'll eat it all. Lotus is
Nice.
also here. Lotus, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. Finally better. I am sorry I couldn't make the stream yesterday. I was not feeling well, but I'm glad things are back to normal.
Always good to hear. And we are going to have ourselves a fun little show tonight. It's, as you can see by the agenda down in the bottom left, it's only two things on the agenda tonight. It's finals recap, which just happened, and we'll just kind of talk about the season as a whole in Pro. A lot of thoughts to kind of just go over there. But, we always do try to invite the champs on, but unfortunately, Liquidox let me know that nobody was available. And I do get it. Some of them are over in Europe, and this is a rough time for them, so it is what it is. But why don't we start by talking about what happened last week, everybody? So let me go ahead and pull that up on your screen here. In case, you didn't know what happened already, or you forgot exactly how it shook out.
No, I forgot for sure.
Did you?
Yeah.
We even casted one of the games.
Yeah. I had a long night. I forgot.
Well,
I just didn't know.
Horizon is the champs of Season 4 in Pro, 13-7 over F2L. 4 matches got played. McBanterface versus Berserk was not hype. Yeah, that match was not as hype because it didn't get played. But it's interestingly enough, chronologically, Glee started off with the win for F2L over Cool Kid. It was 4-1. And then Horizon would take the next 3 matches there. We saw D-Money versus Itachi on stream on Saturday with a 3-2 win to D-Money. Gamer RVG with a sweep over Jammies. And then Liquidox shorted up on Sunday with that win over Rescue Wabbit 3-1. So Horizon, team that we had hyped all season long. Not surprising that they won. I guess, F2L was in a huge position to bounce back here after having such a rough season. They had a very successful season, I would say, and just because they lost in the finals does not mean that they had a bad season by any means. But Mako, you had predicted Horizon win. Not surprised here. Thoughts on this match?
Is I the only one that predicted them to win?
No, everybody but me actually predicted Horizon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was the only one there. I was like, wow, it's impressive. Good job, me. Yeah. Not really much of a surprise, I don't think. Damn it. I think I was finishing my game there, and we're out here thriving. I think the biggest surprise to me was the one. I feel bad saying it because Glee's on my Swagoi team, but I honestly thought Cool Kid was gonna walk away with that. So that one came as a little bit of a shocker. But honestly, I mean, this went about as we all predicted.
Except for me, yeah.
The thing that really got me was I was not expecting the pure amount of shamans on both sides. I know it was this new expansion, and I know the new shaman, like the evolve archetype was doing pretty well on ladder, but I don't know if it was very refined at the time of when the matches were being played. So it really just kind of shocked me that they brought it, especially almost a new kind of like archetype list. It's not, I wouldn't say new archetype. Evolve Shaman's not a new archetype, but like that whole list together is pretty new. So
yeah, I mean, it's a deck that it
bit.
existed, but at the same time, it didn't really exist last expansion. So for this entire THL season, it didn't have a place. I don't think anybody brought Evolved Shaman once the entire season. So, it's not new conceptually, but it's definitely new competitively as far as THL is concerned. So I would agree with you there completely. And a graphic that we have here that I'll show in just a second, all 8 of those shamans were Evolved Shamans, by the way.
Yeah,
That
surprised me. I thought, like I talked about last week, I honestly thought we were just gonna see like just improved versions of Scaldaman stacks. So
And we did see quite a bit of that because all 9 of the Demon Hunters were Soul Demon Hunters. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So you say you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But it's cool to see that there was some experimentation and a little preview, maybe, of what we'll see in the upcoming THL season. Not just in Pro, but in all of our series. Tuna, I'll go to you next here. Hyper Horizon with the win. You predicted it too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, didn't we all predict this like from week 1 that Hyper Horizon was going to be in the finals and probably do very well, if not win it? So this is no shock to me. I mean, this is just is the favorite coming in and they took it. So not too much to say here. They just did what they had to do. Keep winning.
Absolutely. Lotus, thoughts on it?
Hyper Horizon deserves this. They had an insane season. They're all fantastic players. I wanted to see For the Boys playing them because both of those teams crushed the season, and yeah, FTL had a good season, but it's nothing like what those two had. But I hope For the Boys sticks together. Diamond can give us a note if they do or not, or he can leave us in suspense if he wants. I'll do a Lotus Scalded moment where everyone said that ETC Warrior was a meme, and I was bad for bringing it up on stream last time. And as someone who called ETC Warrior a good deck, I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, you definitely were correct. It was brought in this match here.
Yes.
I don't recall off the top of my head whether or not it did particularly well. I know Itachi brought it in the stream match, so if you want to see it in action, the match on Saturday, that VOD, of course, on the channel here, you can see ETC Warrior. I don't think it went exactly according to plan. It did win, Brushy, if I recall, but I don't think it did not pull the ETC combo off.
Didn't it go 1-1? It went
1-1. I think he had to burn the ETC early.
Yeah.
In order to survive.
Yep.
So yeah, the secondary storyline here too is F2L, beat Hyper Horizon back in week 1 of the regular season. So although For the Boys versus Hyper Horizon would have been amazing finals, this was a bit of revenge for Hyper Horizon, proving that they were the better team ultimately on the season. And Hyper Horizon did stumble a little bit towards the end of the regular season, but still very, very impressive over the course of the entire season. So definitely congrats to them. Cool Kid, Liquid Ox, McBanterface, Gamer RPG, and D-Money, all deserved. Hopefully they give everybody another shot at them next season, because that would be pretty fantastic to see if they can pull off 2 championships in a row in what will be a very stacked next season of Pro. I've seen some of the rosters. It's going to be ridiculous. And
I wish we could talk about them.
Oh, we will, but not tonight.
I know. Yeah. They're. I mean, okay. With 20 teams, which is also like 8 higher than we've ever had, if you look at the captains list, and if you recognize any names from any like orgs, then you can kind of probably make some assumptions about who might be playing next season, or at least like get some ideas about what the teams might be looking like. But like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's no filler teams in this 20 team lineup, at least not from what we've seen so far. It's going to be
we don't have we only have like 4 rosters, but like those 4 rosters, like when we look at them, we're like, what are we gonna do?
But I mean, beyond the 4 rosters we've seen, like we know the organizations that you mentioned. We know some of the organizations
exactly.
that our captains are joining, and we know the players that are there are going to be playing in THL too. So it's gonna be pretty heated next season. So it should be a lot of fun. So before we get too far into the weeds on that, I just want to go ahead and bring up these awesome graphics that were provided courtesy of Disco. He did a little comparison of the Week 1 meta just as a whole in multiple tournament formats. So THL, the Hype Horizon had another tournament as well, and a couple others. He just kind of compiled all those stats. So he did some graphics here for THL as well. So very grateful for not only how awesome they look, but just for the information to be provided here. And as you can see, as we talked about, Demon Hunter was the popular choice, and Soul Demon Hunter was the only choice there. Rogue, also, not surprised that they were popular. I guess I'm a little shocked that Cyclone Mage only had 2 appearances, because everyone kind of predicted that to still be very, very powerful. But then again, 4 of the 5 players on Hyper Horizon all brought the exact same lineup, and then D-Money only didn't because he forgot to submit in time. So that might also be a bit of a skewing things a little bit here, because I don't think he would have brought like Bomb Warrior with no new cards, etc. So I guess Lotus, I'll start with you on this one here. Anything you find interesting? I know you already talked about ETC Warrior, but anything else that kind of caught your eye in these 10 lineups?
I want to say one thing. Last week we had talked about how Warrior was not the ban of choice anymore. Especially in Pro, it has stopped being one of the most banned classes and left its position to Demon Hunter and Priest. And it seems like it's back this season, and we're going to have another banned Warrior, unless they nerf Warrior, which is going to be interesting to see if they're going to do anything early or not. Things are kind of balanced, but Warrior seems to be in a really promising spot. So I would say keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I haven't found anything to be too crazy so far. Nothing has felt like broken in the first few weeks, or first weekish, I should say, of this meta. At least on ladder. I mean, I can't speak to a tournament format, but yeah, I think they've been pretty quick to pull the trigger these last few expansions on nerfs if they feel something needs to be nerfed. I don't know if anything's really there yet. Tuna, thoughts here on lineups or anything general meta related?
Outside of DH being S tier, I think it's still too early to tell. A lot of things are still getting like settled down. A lot of things are still getting like mixed up with and figured out what the full 30 are right now. But outside of still DH, I think everything else still has a lot of tinkering to go and could theoretically be better or worse than what we think it is right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Mako.
For next season,
Oh, just in general, the meta. What are your thoughts?
oh, God, man, I am trying to play like these like fun, like mid-range control decks with like old gods and stuff, because I'm like, you know what, I just want to have fun, and I queuing into like fucking a shit ton of like hunters and like aggro demon hunters and stuff. I'm just like, we're doing our best, but personally, I'm not having the greatest of times. But we'll see. It's still evolving, for the better or the worse.
I mean, honestly, like I've had a pretty good time with it. Most decks that I've played around with, I've had success with in some capacity. I mean, yeah, there's the super powerful decks. Soul Demon Hunter is still crazy good. The other aggressive decks too. And not, I shouldn't say other, because Soul Demon Hunter is not an aggressive deck, but other decks that are aggressive can ruin your fun a little bit. But like I've had fun with Control Warlock, for example, Ticketus style. So there are definitely fun times to be had out there, even if you're not playing like a super aggressive deck. And I think, as you can see by the lineups here, most of the decks that were brought aren't of the super aggressive variety. So I think there's still reason to take heart that maybe a meta in a conquest format will not feature just like nothing but degenerate aggro decks.
Hoping and praying, man.
All right. Well, before we finalize everything here, let's take a look at what we thought was going to happen this past season in Pro. This is kind of our season in review. I'm going to bring up a graphic that we brought all the way back in the first week of the regular season. This was what we had ranked all of these teams, all 4 of us, 1 to 12. Minimal memeing. with Brushy putting Aeon in dead last. But maybe you genuinely thought that maybe, but it did not quite work out.
I mean,
that way.
I have my reasoning of why I
you
think
did. It's
Aeon's
right there.
last.
It's
Literally
absolutely right there.
says only because of Donde.
This
I agree with
this
that.
is not edited in any way. This is literally the exact same screenshot I took back then. So, didn't want to make you think that like I did anything funky with your picks, but you can see obviously Hype Horizon was well represented at the top. Two of us had him in first. Two of us had him in second. So overall, I took like a little bit of a. You guys hit some and missed some. We sure did. I took I added up all the points. Like Hype Horizon got 1 point from me, 1 point from Lotus, 2 from Mako, 2 from Brushy. Did that for all the teams. Hype Horizon had an average of 1.5, so they were the highest team. But Wisha's was the big miss. That was an average of 2.75, second ranked overall, and they were not anywhere close to that. So that was definitely the biggest miss, I think, among all of us. And just if you took the top 4 that we had, really,
not the due process and last place that you and Lotus have.
I mean, that's the biggest miss in the opposite direction. But
Okay.
they're both pretty big misses.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. The playoff teams that we had were Hype Horizon, Wisha's, Bad to the Bone, and then F2L and Tap Last were tied for 4th at 4.75 apiece. So that was like the cutoff there, and we were right about 3 out of the 4 of those teams. If you think F2L above Tap Last, it was Wisha's that we really missed on. So yeah, that was I mean, everyone's taking your best guess at the beginning of the season, and I think we did a pretty decent job. And then you start to get, like you said, to the lower part of the rankings there. Windkeepers were 11th. None of us had them in dead last, but because we had them all tied for 11th, they ended up being the aggregate last place team at 11. Due Process just a quarter of a point ahead of them. King Clown Fiesta a quarter point ahead of them. So all 3 of those teams were considered to kind of be the bottom 3 teams, but Due Process greatly exceeded expectations, as you mentioned, Mako.
I mean, I am in third to last, so like I can't act like I'm some prophet, but I think out of everybody on here, like they definitely. I'm still pissed off they didn't make it. Just skip me. Don't talk to me.
Well, Brushy, you had the most faith in them, but it was only 9th place. So I guess let's go all the way back.
I don't think you could really say that though, because
I mean, some faith is
fair,
is not no faith.
I'm saying like I honestly I think he probably had faith in them to get 10th like I did, but he had to put Aeon in last, so like everyone else went up one single
spot. Is actually a fair point.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Mako's right. That's probably exactly what happened. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I was looking at another thing I looked at too was the disparity between the highest ranking for a team and the lowest ranking. Aeon notwithstanding, because Mako had us first and Brushy had us last. So obviously the range there is the widest, but the unknown, Brushy, if you had to be completely objective, what would you have put? Like, what
I would have put us like 8th.
8th. Okay. Then
8th. I remember saying something like that on the opening show too.
Okay.
Whereas like just because I would have put him 8th, but it's me, so I put him first.
Okay, so that makes the gap between the highest pick for the unknown and the lowest only 3, which is much more in line with what we did normally for most teams. But that means the biggest gap was actually Tap Last with the ranking of third for Brushy and 8th was Mako. So that one was the one that we had like the biggest differing of opinion on.
Yeah.
But most teams only had like a 2 or 3 spot spread between the 2 of them. Interestingly enough, we brought up 4 of the boys. Obviously, the 4th playoff team, outside of the 3 that we've already talked about there, they only had a high of 6. So they, I guess, were like the Due Process was a surprise and ultimately fell short of the playoffs. But 4 of the boys was a surprise and also had a very successful season. So what do you think made them fly so far under the radar, Lotus?
I think it's because they tanked a few seasons in a row, and finally they did amazing, and we started to believe in them. But we needed a bit more evidence that Diamond was a good captain.
Diamond says Diamond, I'm sure, has something to say about that. Brushy, your thoughts on For the Boys as a whole this season?
I only put them lower because I didn't know too much about Buck Nasty and German Shep when we did this.
Turns
so
out
they
they're
were,
insane.
yeah, it turns out they're insane. Yeah, very true. But yeah, that's the only reason why I put them lower is just because I didn't know 2 out of 5 players. So, but yeah, that was the only reason why I had them lower. If I knew how insane they were, I'd probably put them higher. But who knows? Who knows what past Tuna would have done?
Mako.
Did you know the Hype Horizon players?
I actually was reasonably familiar with at least a few of them.
Yeah, I think I knew all but D Money.
Interesting. I didn't know any of them except for Ox. So, and I think I had to ask you guys. I think I had. I remember the conversation because I was like, "Hey guys, I don't know anybody on this team," and then you guys were like, "Well, this person's like, this legend. This person's up here, and this person's over here," and I was like, well, okay," and I kind of just followed along with you, but
It was a good decision.
yeah. I don't know. I feel bad. I feel so bad like looking at this now. I feel super bad for whoever is doing the like season previews for Pro next season because like Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
you're gonna have to take a few rough decisions like who to cut out of the playoffs there because there's gonna be so many good teams. But
Like not even that, but like it's not even just how many good teams, but just how many teams too. Like
true.
jumping from 12 to 20,
Yeah,
and like the quality doesn't drop off at the same time. Like, dude,
I mean,
whoever takes up
yeah.
that mantle, like I feel so bad for them.
There's going to be a large increase in, I think, all of our series. Is that right? If
Yeah.
if not a large increase, at least an increase in all of the series.
No. Legacy obviously jumped up the highest. We have our biggest series ever with 24 in Legacy.
Yeah.
Hero was at 15. Last season I was at 16, so it didn't jump. It actually went down by 1. Pro went up by 8, and Wild got lower as well. Wild was at
okay.
Yeah. Wild dropped by 2 or 3.
Well, I thought you said you said Hero went down to 15, but I thought we only had 12 last season.
No, we originally in Hero had 15 because Hero was going to be the divisions of 5,
right.
and then one person jumped in and made it 16.
You're right. We got the team at the last second. Yep.
And Wild absorbed that format.
Fair enough. Yep. Well, should be interesting. Should be an exciting set of new seasons. And for right now, the plan is to have kind of a staggered start still, with Legacy and Hero probably get kicked off earliest, as you've seen in the announcements, since they've had the longest break so far this off season, with Wild still finishing up this week and Pro just finishing up last week. Those will start probably a little bit later, but we are trying to navigate around the holidays, and we are trying to navigate around the future expansion release to make sure that we don't run into a similar problem that we ran into this season. So it's it's going to be fun. We'll have all the details for you when we decide on everything content-wise, and when we decide on everything start date-wise. That is to be determined. But for right now, we didn't really have a whole lot here since we were hoping to interview the champs, but they're not here. So Saku says we got to stretch. We're also stretching for time, but I guess no shame in having a shorter show tonight since we don't have a ton of stuff to talk about. What I will say is that this is the final HearthCenter in its current form with this team, and which I guess is sad a little bit. It is a little sad. We've had some fun. We've had a good time, and just the concept of the show coming together. About a year ago at this point, a little over a year I think it was, and no, it's been a great time. So I really appreciate everybody tuning in week in and week out. And it is a good show. I think it's a good show. Thank you, Diamond. And I hope that as we continue into the content revamp, that everyone is excited about that. That it'll continue to be a good show, even with its Brushy. Sure. I think it will continue to be a good show, and I'm looking forward to seeing more and more people get involved in THL content, and I know that's going to result in myself taking a step back on a weekly basis. And
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I just think we have so many talented people and so many people who want to be involved that it makes sense to uh, let other people take the lead and be kind of a guest when I need to be on different shows and things like that. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be good, and we're still finalizing the details of who goes where. And if you are still, if you haven't gotten in touch with me and you want to be involved in one of the shows or more than one of the shows, let me know, and we'll get you here. So I guess I'll go around the table here for last thoughts on anything, whatever you got. Mako, I'll start with you.
I have no thoughts. I am excited for next. I say I have no thoughts as I begin to say a thought.
As thoughts.
I'm excited for the next season because I'm excited for the content revamp. I just wish Donde would let me talk about it. But yeah, I'm really pumped. I don't know what Donde and Brushy and Lotus are specifically doing, but
We'll be involved.
I know shit, bud. I said specifically.
Oh, Donde.
I would love to see Donde follow me to my show, but I will try my damnedest, people. I will get him on my show if it's the last thing I do. The Mako show? Yes. It sucks. Yeah. It sucks though. Our Yelp reviews are lacking. People keep just giving us 2 stars.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Tuna. Thanks
people, because people put content, multimedia content reviews on Yelp, right?
They sure do.
I don't know why I fucking said Yelp.
That's all right. You were rolling with it. We went with you.
You get the point.
So Tuna, you were our newest addition to HearthCenter.
I was.
And
what up?
glad you made it. Glad you were here. Glad you had a good time.
Did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being on the show. Feels good. Felt good. Just a bunch of goofballs week in and week out talking about THO.
I think my favorite side plot was your walkabouts from time to time, where things would die and you would have to go outside and stream from your phone, and we would get
those are good.
like a tuna traveling
tuna downstream.
Tuna, yeah, that's what you call it, tuna downstream.
I tried my hardest at the beginning of the season. I told Donde I think Brushy was out at the time. I think he had left the call, but I told Donde next time, because at the end of every single episode, Brushy ends it with his pow, and he holds it until Donde lets it go. And I told Donde he should one time just not let the stream cut and just have Brushy just sitting there holding it for like a while and just not say a single thing.
See how strong my arms really are.
Yeah, let's put it to the limit.
Just like
well, we're glad to have you, Tuna, and I know you'll still continue to be involved for as long as you can here with THL content. So, thank you for all your time this season. Lotus, you, opposite to Tuna, have been around more shows with me in HearthCenter than anybody else. I know, Mako, you had a little bit of a gap there in your initial run to now, but Lotus, you've been around for a while, and I do appreciate everything you've brought to the show these last few seasons, and anything you want to reminisce on.
I gapped from here to Tavern Talk back to here. Okay,
yeah, but you weren't on the show though, so the fact remains.
Whatever.
I don't even know how many seasons we've been doing this. 5 seasons or something? It's been a while.
5 total.
Yeah. I've had a great time. I'll be honest, it's just really fun to be here every Wednesday. And I don't know. I like our crew. I've had a great time with this show. Every week we get to talk about something that I find fun. And I laugh a lot. I dance every time my GIF is on because I just find this
He said
hilarious.
GIF. Oh
So,
no.
Oh
actually,
no! All right, see you guys.
If
It's been
is
a
the
good
peanut
show.
butter.
if you accompany my head, you'll notice I'm just doing the same movements the dog is doing the whole time. But no one knows my face to see that. That being said, I'm just super grateful for having me here for all this time and for not getting too annoyed at the point you would kick me out. So thank you.
No, there's no one. No, there's I think it's fun that we have like this little dynamic here between all four of us. Mako is kind of like the stern guy who has the hot takes that we get a little bit unsure of where he's gonna go at times. Tuna's like kind of the fun uncle of everybody, and Lotus, I think, I think Lotus, I think of you as like the son, the prodigal son here with all the stats and the meta and whatnot. And no, I think I appreciate what everybody else brings to the table because it's four unique personalities every week here that all come together for a fun time for an hour to an hour and a half. So I think this has been great, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what all of us can do. Kind of doing a little bit of everything here in THL content, and I'm so excited for next month.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's it. So I think it's time that we sign off for the night. I know this is a short show for us, but no point in dragging it out. So I will wish everybody who is celebrating a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Eat all the turkey. Yeah, I mean, you can eat the turkey even if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving. You should, because it's great. But
It's okay.
Okay, all right. Well, before we say things that we can't take back,
I'm not taking it back.
just have a good time, everybody. Thanks for tuning in all season long. Yeah,
And come play Among Us with Mako, Donde, and I after this. I don't know if Tune is also coming.
No, because Donde's going to be there.
Ouch.
Oh, okay. Don't invite them to play because we have a full lobby. But come watch us play Among Us. I'm going to be streaming it, so if anyone wants to watch us play Among Us, we will be live there in like 10ish minutes when people get their ass on.
All right.
I will accuse Donde out of nowhere just for the sake of it.
That's fine. I'm very, I'm very suspicious at any given point. So.
Yeah, Donde's very sus 24/7.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. And anybody still playing Wild, good luck in your matches this week if you're tuning in. And we will see you next season. Later, everybody.
See ya! You know I'm watching this on stream, right?